Hey everybody, this is Rydo, and we're back to Edna Harvey, Harvey's New Eyes. We're kind of burning through the restrictions, so it does kind of feel like what we're going to do is spend the rest of this second act of a three-act play, I suspect, releasing the restrictions put on Lilli, and then that third act probably may not even involve the restrictions. I wouldn't be surprised if it completely disappears for more of a traditional didactic point and click adventure game in that final act. So we got a cigar. The cigar let us send smoke signals, and then this shaman told us that he needed better signals, so he needed a totem pole, so we sent him towards the totem pole. The shaman is talking in internet leet speak type stuff. So we got some junk food, we've got the fire, and we've got the shaman. Let's look at everything.
Lilli had pictured the shaman somewhat differently, smaller. It looked like something edible, but it smelled like a dead animal.
We don't have any items in our inventory, so it really does seem like this is going to probably just be talk to the shaman. He may give us a puzzle, and that may be it.
Mom, AFK, RE.
Yeah, I don't know what RE would mean in that case. I don't even know what mom means there. I would think it would mean mother, but maybe something else. I think the general idea is he's saying he's not going to talk to you. So we're trying to defeat the Wendigo so we can go into dangerous places, so we can go into the cave in the real world.
Auto completion. Did you mean smoke signal? Ruffle, those aren't real smoke signals. My router just ran a little hot in this prairie heat. Now you probably want to know what kind of server I'm running, right? It's Apache.
Apache is a older at this point website hosting server for mostly Linux operating systems. It's been phased out or overseeded by a software called Nginx, Nginx, I believe it is. There's probably some other ones also available that are competitors. The main difference there is that Nginx, I believe, can run multiple processes in parallel, where Apache, while very stable and good legacy software, could only run a single process at a time per function call or so. So in the short, in simplistic part of it, it's just not as fast as it could have been. And of course, the joke here is that this is supposed to be a Native American Apache being named after a Native American. But yeah, we'll leave it at that before I start getting very nerdy for no reason.
Auto completion. Did you mean Wendigo? Wait. Got it. Wigwampedia entry. Wendigo. The Wendigo. Omnivore. Also, Wendigo, plural Wendigos. Demon from Anishinaabe mythology. Wendigos are considered to be especially stubborn and inflexible. FYI. They stink horrendously. Lol.
Okay, so how do I can kill a Wendigo?
Auto completion. Did you mean weapon against Wendigos? W8. Just getting it on TP. Print order confirmation. Yes, no, cancel, print. Here, apparently, there is only one effective method to combat Wendigos. Give this recipe to the quack doctor. He should have received the order. I hacked his Wi-Fi, and while you're at it, I ordered something on Appalachia Zone. It's, not really for me. I clicked on a pop-up by accident, but seeing as you're going there anyway, can you pick it up for me? Thanks.
So once again, we've been given a recipe that we have to deliver. There definitely seems to be some repetition around all of this. I'm really questioning what the puzzle is going to be with the cash cow and the gold digger, but obviously we're not to that point yet.
Anti-Wendigo weapons were apparently only available with a prescription.
We haven't even seen the Wendigo yet. Feels like we should have heard its cries or seen a picture of it or something.
Wonderful. Now, let's see. Oh, yes. I received this order here, and while you're at it, I have a delivery for the shaman here. Would you mind taking it to him?
Okay, so we take the
There was a
package.
can in the package. Lilli was excited. Hair removal cream.
So we have a deodorant and hair removal cream.
Ozone Next for Wendigo Whack with an extra dose of FCKW. Hair removal cream.
So I thought it was going to be some kind of embarrassing item for the shaman, but hair removal is not really that embarrassing. Particularly when you had the quack doctor mentioning cervical cancer to the little girl. I guess he might be a little hairy.
I didn't order that. There has to be a mistake.
Maybe he wants the
I
deodorant.
don't need it. If you don't move, you won't sweat.
Lilli had pictured the shaman somewhat differently, smaller.
And see, now I'm trying to jump through the lines of dialogue and I accidentally clicked on them. Alright, hair removal cream on the
It
junk
looked
food.
like something edible, but it smelled like a dead animal.
Let's put the deodorant then on the food.
It looked like something edible, but it smelled...
Nope, you were supposed to just pick it up.
looked like... but it...
Okay. So we were supposed to get that. Alright. Hair removal cream on
Lilli
this.
knew she wasn't supposed to play with her food. Food was such a sore loser. And when it started acting up...
Alright, let's give the hair removal cream to the vulture. See if he does anything with it.
Is that the rotting?
Let's give the deodorant to the
What's
vulture.
that?
So neither one of these two bottles are... It's a real mistake to have two different things in the bottle. If hair removal cream needed to exist, then make the deodorant a perfume in a fancy perfume bottle. If a deodorant had the existence form, make the hair removal cream a buzz cutter or a pair of scissors or something. Scissors might be a bad choice though, because then you try to think of a whole bunch of different ways to use scissors.
What's that? Is that the rotting meat I can smell? Damned. Then I should have started circling long ago. I guess I missed out. If anyone asks, please tell them I was circling, okay? Feel free to exaggerate. Add a loop. You know what I mean, huh? And the next time, I'll circle again, huh? I promise.
It's kind of like an odd French
The
accent.
food had been lying in the sun long enough.
But you can't just give the food to
What's
him.
that? I guess if any, feel free. And the next.
Okay. So I'm thinking the solution here is we're supposed to put the rotten food in the saddlebags.
Lilli secretly put the junk food into the saddlebag. It was going to be a surprise.
And then that way, the gold digger will now take him to the mine, and the buzzard will tell me the direction to the mine, or I'll be able to follow him.
Howdy again. You're here to bug me about my mine again.
Because, yeah, we have to find our way
I'm
to the
not telling
mine
you how to
before
get
we can
there.
fight the Wendigo. Let's see.
If you're looking for the shaman, look for his smoke signals. He uses them to send messages somehow. Don't bother. I told you all I know about Wendigos. If you want to know more, you need to ask the shaman.
So there are some obvious hints that they're putting in the dialogue pass, which does definitely point out that in most point-and-click adventure games, they're not really designed for you to exhaust every line of dialogue. Although there are some where you definitely should, or pretty much have to, exhaust every line of dialogue. And those can be very exhausting, certainly.
Forget it. I'm not telling you the way to my gold mine. And I'm not going to ride over there so long as you're hanging around here.
Okay. So I think that's the hint.
My gold mine is good and hidden. I should actually ride over there again.
So now we can look at the vultures.
The vultures were circling above a particular spot on the horizon. That was probably where the gold digger's mine was located.
And so we're going to just walk now, and we just have a new location.
It was so hot that the air smelled of ozone. But even back here, the fragrances of summer couldn't compete with the Wendigo's stench.
Okay. So we can't go to the hideout because the Wendigo is representing the mental block that stops us.
Judging by the smell, that had to be the Wendigo. The shaman was right. He really had a beastly stench.
They pronounced it Vendigo at that point. Am I supposed to mix these two?
Whenever Lilli fiddled with chemicals, the universe held its breath.
Let's give the hair removal cream to him.
If that's suntan lotion, no thanks. I have my own. Dialux Protect. Sensitive. With sun protection factor 3000.
So he doesn't want the hair removal cream. Let's try the deodorant.
Are you crazy? Stop that. Those spray cans contain tons of CFCs. If that stuff gets into the atmosphere, we'll have an ozone hole here in no time. You don't want a hole in the ozone layer, do you? You see?
Or do we? Let's try
It
the
was
sky.
so hot that the air smelled of ozone. But even back here, the fragrances of summer couldn't. Lilli decided.
Oh, the sky looks strange. It could be an ozone hole approaching. That's not good.
So
Where's
one...
my suntan lotion? There it is.
One little squirt opened a hole in the ozone in this fantasy world.
I'd better leave it outside. Safe is safe.
We should probably talk to the Wendigo before we solve this puzzle.
Here she is, our demon killer. Did I surprise you? I know what you've done to my brethren. But you won't succeed with me. I'm always on guard. And you should be too. Do you see the mine back there? I know why I stay away from it. It's about to collapse, and the suspended bridge is wobbly. And it's as dark as a buffalo's butt. Who knows what dangers lurk there? So I'd rather stay out here, in the sun, where it's safe. Nothing and no one can budge me from here. Nor, for my opinion, dangerous locations are no place for little children. No matter what you say.
The shaman was right. The Wendigo was really a stubborn fellow. And he stank so much that the thought of a buffalo's butt was a welcome relief.
So it kind of feels like you could just walk this way.
You shouldn't go into the mine. It's about to collapse, and the suspended bridge is wobbly. And it's as dark as a buffalo's butt.
Again, just repeating lines of dialogue, unfortunately. Alright, well, solution here is to switch this out. We could look at the sunscreen.
Dialux Protect Sensitive with Sun Protection Factor 3000.
Switch these out.
Uh-oh, it's starting. Quick, apply the lotion.
And all of his hair falls off.
What a drag.
And then he just gets
The sun
sunburnt.
had badly damaged the Wendigo. Apparently, nowhere was safe. That meant it was inevitable to spend time in dangerous places.
So we've broken the mental perception of going into the dangerous places, and that's depicted as a hunter Harvey. You know, this is kind of a better way to do an Edna and Harvey game, I think, because what I vaguely remember is that you kind of end up, or I think I kind of ended up really hating Harvey, and Harvey really came off as just a total malevolent, evil, bad guy in the first game. So you may very well introduce a different Harvey, or a different way to approach Harvey as an antagonist, to make him more of a lovable mascot type character, which is visually at least what he looks like. Alright, so there's only two things to do here. So we have unlocked the ability to make fire, contradict adults, drink alcohol, lie, and now enter dangerous places, which definitely makes it seem like the act could end here, or we could end up just having to do two more and then doing whatever you want. I think probably at that point, once you turn that on, that supersedes all these other ones. We still have the cocktail album too, for some reason, even though we don't have any ingredients. So, what I suspect will happen here is we're going to the hideout. We'll find Edna, maybe, but then she'll get captured and taken to the asylum, and we'll have to chase after her. Or she'll just be missing. It would be surprising if we find Garrett, but he could also show up.
At long last, Lilli had reached her destination. She had faced 1,000 dangers, and finally, she now stood in Edna's hiding place. There was just one catch. Edna was gone.
Okay. So that's totally what I expected. We have an owl pipe, which looks like a whistle.
That was a bad sign. Edna never went anywhere without her owl whistle.
An owl whistle is an interesting thought, but I know what we probably are going to use this for. You've got some fireflies in jars with no air holes. You've got posters that we can't read. Sleeping bag. Mattress as a couch. Lots and lots of candles. And really all we can do here is look at the telescope. And I guess there's a note here to also read.
Edna had left a message. Hopefully she was all right.
Lilli, help! I'm being devoured alive by a giant tentacled creature. Ah! Whoa! Dun 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 dun. Just kidding. I'm fine. I was just watching the bridge down by the river through my telescope. Dr. Marcel's minions seem to be planning something. I'll check it out up close. If I don't return, you have to get help. But don't worry. I'll be careful. Where are my kettle drum and my strobe flashlight? Dang. Well, see you soon. Toodaloo.
Lilli was relieved by the letter. But what if Dr. Marcel's men had caught her friend? Lilli had to get to the bridge and look for Edna. She would find Garrett there too.
See, she just left the note, so it's not even an inventory item. Yeah, and it doesn't seem like looking after reading the note triggered anything. So off we go to the bridge area. There's nothing new to deal with here.
This damn piece of junk. Can you believe it? We finally found the girl, and now the car won't start.
Should I perhaps push?
This car should have been inspected months ago, but ever since the accident, the doctor has let everything go downhill. It's a shame.
So, it was true. The attendants had already found Edna. Why wasn't Garrett doing anything? Lilli somehow had to get his attention.
So, I wonder... well, A, I think Garrett may just be a figment of imagination. But B, I also wonder if they are actually talking about Lilli, because there is no Edna/Lilli. There is only Lilli as a different personality of Edna. It certainly would explain why this is called Edna and Harvey, when Harvey's playing very little role and Edna's playing very little role.
So, it was true. The attendants had already...
Let's go ahead and skip that.
That was a bad sign. Edna never...
Let's try the whistle on Garrett.
It was hopeless. Lilli would never catch Garrett's attention while the owl kept interfering.
Okay.
Did you hear something?
I don't know. Hopefully not another saber-toothed boar. I'm still out of breath.
So unless we're supposed to give the whistle to the saber-toothed boars.
The saber-toothed boars like something like that, but she wasn't supposed to feed them anyway.
Alright, well then let's just see if we can talk to the owl.
An owl had made itself comfortable in the tree.
Yeah, it really doesn't feel like there could be much else to do. Hey, stop that. Okay. So we have a whole, like, you can skip this dialogue puzzle option under the tutorial pop-up, and which is weird, but let's just go with this. Hey. Stop that. Then let's see if that's all we really needed to do.
never catch Garrett's attention.
Okay, so we've got to talk to the owl and get different phrases. So we have, hey, stop that, sorry, never mind. So when he says, when you do hey, she says stop that. And I say stop it. She goes sorry. And I say sorry. She goes never mind. And never mind equals never mind. So, seems like sorry is about the only one that... Or stop that seems to be about the only one. Yeah, it just doesn't feel like there's a real puzzle here. I guess Nevermind is probably the right one if there is a right one here, because doing Nevermind, if I've now set that she'll make the Nevermind sound, it'll just be echoed by him.
It was hopeless. Lilli would never catch Garrett's.
Maybe I have to do stop it, then exit, then do it. Yeah, it seems like you very potentially do have to just trick the owl into repeating.
It was hopeless. Lilli would never catch.
Oh, this is a little too complicated of a puzzle.
It was hopeless. Lilli would never catch Garrett's attention while the owl...
Is there some other thought here? Like, would any of these actually do anything?
Sunny Cup narcotic. It was apparent. Unfortunately.
Yeah, let's leave.
Lilli couldn't leave now. She had to contact Garrett.
Okay, so the game is making that fairly easy. Maybe we can brainwash the owl.
Didn't seem interested. It was probably busy doing important owl things.
Alright, well... we may have to just skip this because it's just ridiculous.
It was hopeless. Lilli would never...
Let's try stop that in the dialogue and then try this. Okay.
It was... Lilli would never...
So it kind of feels like I need to talk to the owl. And you'd think it would be stop that. But then why would stop that lead to nevermind and sorry? And then it kind of feels like you may have to come out and do this. Unless I'm supposed to be using it for the asylum attendants.
Lilli didn't want the attention.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense. So... Yeah, it does seem like we're just gonna have to...
It was hopeless. Lilli would never...
Okay. Are we moving things around? Let's see. Hey. Hey. And see, apparently now we have a whole new answer, and I don't know what I did to get that. Well, I apparently just got an achievement.
Lilli was able to finally give Garrett the signal without being interrupted.
But I have no idea what I just did to solve that puzzle. Like, that was just really random button
Lilli
clicks.
was able to finally give Garrett the signal without being interrupted.
And there's no way you weren't going to hear that line of dialogue twice in a
Garrett
row.
didn't seem to hear Lilli's owl call at all. She tried once more, this time a little louder.
Although it does seem like maybe that was a joke to repeat it.
Someone's out there. Just wait. We'll take care of it.
Wow, the faces of these characters are very oddly animated.
Well, who do we have here? But that's... Uh-oh.
The Phantom!
Yeah, I don't get the Phantom aspect. Maybe that's a reference to the game, the first game.
Lilli thoughtfully watched the fleeing attendants for a long while. She was used to having bizarre phantoms appear behind her without warning, but the way Dr. Marcel's minions had reacted surprised her. Usually, adults just ignored these creatures.
Okay, so my guess there is the Phantom there is either a crazy person or they are Edna. Interesting, of all these restrictions, do not steal, not even considered as one. Let's go ahead and take the key ring. Look
The
at the car.
attendants had left their delivery truck behind.
Let's try and use the car.
The attendants had forgotten their key. Lilli thought it would be a good idea to hold on to it. Otherwise, someone might steal it.
So use
Lilli
the key in the
wasn't
car.
quite sure how to drive a car, but she'd find out one of these days.
So we're not going to look in the back of the car, which feels
The
like
attendants had left their delivery truck behind.
it feels like there should be a way to double check. Just to make sure Edna's not in the back of the car. Otherwise, up we go to the wall, and Garrett is now gone. Questionable if he's real at all.
Oh, thank goodness. I thought they'd caught you. Unfortunately, Edna wasn't as lucky. I saw how she was snatched and taken back to the institution. This gives us all the evidence we need. I will contact the task force leaders right away. It's best if you stay put until I come back with reinforcements. However, it could take some time, and I can't guarantee that Edna will still be alive when we finally get the green light. If we're lucky, Dr. Marcel will torture her for a while before finally dissecting her or whatever else it is he intends to do with her. That would give us some time. She'll probably have to part with a few toes or fingers. Oh well, that's the way it goes. In any case, you wait here. I'll come and pick you up from exactly this spot tomorrow or the day after tomorrow, at the latest. Although the day after tomorrow is a holiday. But oh well, you'll see. Just wait here.
Notice how he was just kind of
Lilli
spinning
would have
around.
really liked to follow Garrett's instructions, but, well, there were excellent reasons for doing what she did instead.
It might be a funny twist if Garrett is real and he's just crazy and not really a police officer. And that was labeled the wall, but the background there was really just showing a bunch of trees, and because it's all in shadow like this, the color palette makes it kind of hard to tell
Post-Victorian
that
masonry work
these are
had a
trees.
friendly air about it. It was almost as if the architect had tried to spell out "welcome" with bricks and barbed wire. This unspoken invitation found its culmination in a nearly overgrown back door, and Lilli intended to graciously accept it.
So, I will say in the first game, the Institute's, the Insane Asylum's layout is fine, but nothing special. So, revisiting it will only be so nostalgic. In fact, it's really just going to be a little repetitive.
The door was firmly locked.
I guess we're keeping the alcohol.
Exhausting the limits of her powers of deduction, Lilli tried opening the back door with the key. But just as she approached the obstacle, she heard a familiar cackling.
What a little scoundrel.
The sneaky hamster had once again crossed Lilli's plans. But despite this, Lilli had no intentions of exacting a bloody revenge.
Okay. So we are going to do another puzzle here with Al, which really does seem like that's just a great way to waste the player's time.
Lilli would have also made a good bush. She could stand on the sidelines for hours without anyone noticing her. There weren't many ways to play with a bush. Lilli once made a list of them, but then Mother Superior took the list away from her. Lilli would have also made a good bush.
Interesting that you have like a bush and then a bush. Two locations. Feels like one of these should be key, but yeah, the key is way over here.
Was good,
it's not lined up.
Arms were too short.
Alright, let's see what happens if we use this on the hamster.
Lilli was glad. It was so rare that her friends got along so well with each other. Of course, this was also because she hardly had any friends. Much more important, however, was that the asylum key was no longer out of reach. It had fallen into one of the dark bushes.
I guess that's a fine resolution there. Like, I thought there was going to be potentially a much longer puzzle in which I'd have to learn a whole nother code of sounds for the squirrel, and then eventually I'd have to maybe combine the actions of the squirrels with the action of the owl. Maybe get the squirrel to jump from one platform to another platform so he's lined up for the owl, and then tell the owl to swoop in a specific direction. It definitely could have been a much longer,
very dark in there, but Lilli
challenge.
Wasn't afraid. After all, it was just a bush. Yeah. Why did the child have to be so careless all the time?
So we're now entering chapter 3. We are in this weird catch-22 where I don't really want too much extra dialogue because the game already feels a little too long in that aspect, and B, I don't want too much more point-and-click puzzles because the game feels too long. So I'm overly satisfied in content that they're offering, and that creates a scenario where familiarity is breeding contempt.
An inflatable dinghy had caught in the sewer grate. People flushed the strangest things.
We'll go and take the boat. And I guess we go down the river. Seems like a very slow animation there. Yeah, almost certainly there needs to have been a third aspect, and I don't know what that would really be in a point-and-click adventure game, but something else to do. Probably some more puzzling. Alright, so there's a door here with a lock on it, but there's kind of no reason to get out of the boat until we can figure out why the boat exists. This is not content that I think we saw in the first game. So we may be fairly focused around seeing new areas of the asylum or redesigned areas of the asylum. See, it feels like if there was a burst pipe or something. But yeah, there's nothing here at the moment. So let's just try the door.
The door was firmly locked.
It's mostly a case, though, that there isn't anybody at the asylum. Alright, so the Phantom is not Edna. And so we do have a puzzle here.
Just stay where you are, okay?
Let's go this way instead. Move incredibly slow. You can see he has keys on his belt.
Give up. You can't get away. Especially not against the current.
So that's as far as we can go. Now we'll go
Hey, come back.
towards the current as fast as possible. One thing I am noticing about this game, since I have multiple monitors, particularly in a cutscene, it's fairly easy to get the mouse cursor.
You'll have to come ashore sometime, and then I'll get you.
Okay. Yeah, it definitely does not seem like there's anything you can do here.
Hey, come back.
So is this just a pathetic pretense of a puzzle when there really isn't one?
Stop, I said.
As long as the Phantom was stalking her, Lilli didn't want any trouble.
Okay.
Hey, come back. You can't hide out on the water forever. You'll have to come ashore sometime, and then I'll get you. Hey, come back.
Yeah, the only other thing I could think of potentially happening is that there is some kind of combination. Like if he was stumbling when he walks somewhere or something. Then it would kind of make sense.
Give up. You can't get away. Especially not against the current.
And you can't get any further and get water in it. Alright. So unless there's a double click trick here. Okay. So you can move fast enough if you go this way that you can get through
come back.
At this point, and then
you can't hide out on the water forever. You'll have to come ashore sometime, and then I'll get you.
But it seems like it only works on that one sequence. And that one sequence only.
Stop, I said.
But that may be good enough. Though. So it does seem like it is
come back.
An oddly specific challenge with no real hints at all.
Up. You can't get away.
You would
especially not against
definitely fix this kind of puzzle by having more of a hint. Like, see, this moves faster.
Come back.
And then that lets me come back this way. And probably at that point, that's when I need to that's probably the point where I need to go further to the right. Okay. And see, if I wait a bunch of time here, will he eventually walk here, or have we just triggered it so that he won't ever make it there? Seems like we've triggered it.
Hey, come back.
There you can see he said, hey,
Can't
come
hide
back.
out on the You'll have.
Even though he was halfway through the screen.
Hey, come back.
And here it definitely says, hey, come back. In this instance.
Stop, I say.
And then you get to stop, I say, which stops your progress. Oh, this is not really the kind of puzzle you would want to see. And then when you think about the squirrel and the key puzzle before that, that really wasn't a puzzle that you would have wanted to see at that point either. If anything, it feels like Chapter 3 at some point may have tried to been sold as its own separate game. And that we're back to like a tutorial aspect where the game has been made particularly simplistic.
Hey, come back.
Right. Oh, and so that was the solution.
Triumphantly, Lilli
Was to
cried.
just beat him.
She had finally found a way to get into the institution.
Not so fast.
Why are we clicking a button here? Well, we have an edge we can grab for, and we don't seem like we can kick. So I think the button is just to give up. Okay, I wasn't expecting that.
Although she was briefly distracted by a floating energy smartie, Lilli was able to reach the ledge. Not a moment too soon as the ladder crashed down behind her, dragging the phantom into the pit with it. No! Fortified by the energy smartie, Lilli was able to pull herself up on the ledge. Now her search for Edna could continue.
Yeah, it just seems like that came out of nowhere. Yeah, that's weird. Let's see, we've got several different punch card slots here. 4 on a punch card. And then security system, and we can't go back down. And we only have the ball of wool.
The lamp was glowing red. The lamp was glowing red. The lamp was glowing red. The lamp was glowing.
Same thing each time.
The map had more holes in it than Lilli's socks. The mice there were apparently quite desperate.
Yeah. If each chapter was sold as a separate game, then there really wouldn't have been any satisfactory solution to the story at the end of chapter 1 or chapter 2. So that wouldn't have been a good way to present this game, even though I do think this game is getting very long. So throwing that idea out the window, it really doesn't make sense why that puzzle was that simplistic.
The mice there were apparently quite desperate.
If anything, that feels like that was a desire to...
It was hopeless.
It definitely feels like there was a desire there to have an action sequence, and they could have just made a cutscene instead.
It was hopeless.
Instead of having the player actually play.
It was hopeless.
Okay. So it seems like each one of these is going to be a access point to a specific spot in the asylum, so we may never actually get through inside the asylum and just walking around like the first game. Here we have a character named Mr. Frog.
Who's afraid of the boogeyman? Right. Not Lilli.
Let's go and talk to him.
Hey, that's my fireplace. You shouldn't be here unless you want to bring presents or sweep the chimney. Not that the soot is bothering me. That was the old Mr. Frog. The new Mr. Frog is enjoying the dirt. Ah, dirt. You see?
And I definitely am in a situation where I don't remember any of these characters from the first Edna Harvey game. So if these were characters that somebody liked, it really wasn't me. I didn't think I really liked any of the characters in the asylum that much. And I definitely don't remember any of them. If anything, it would be just as impactful if there was a whole new cast of crazy characters in the asylum.
That's Mr. Frog to you. And in case you're wondering what a piece of clothing like me is doing inside a fireplace, I'm acquiring soot. That's right. I used to be very fastidious about staying clean. But then this impertinent person came along and dared to spill something on me. The stains never came out. My clothing is black and greasy. My socks haven't been ironed. And I even have fleas. Karen and Bertram. I'd introduce them to you, but they're sleeping right now.
So, this guy thinks he's a piece of clothing. Obviously, we did something to him in the first game.
I'm living in a sooty chimney. So what? I used to be very fastidious about staying clean. Now, I don't care anymore. You're now speaking with the dark Mr. Frog, who eats his gummy bears without a napkin.
I wonder if we're going to end up having to make all the people crazy in the way they originally were and undo everything Edna did in the first game.
Yes, I know that it's dirty here. So what? I love the cobwebs, the dust, and that rotting substance in the corner. I just finished combing it. I wouldn't dust here even if you put a feather duster right in my hand. You don't have a feather duster, do you? Stop. I don't want to know.
Okay, so he's looking for a feather duster, it seems.
You don't need to mumble like that. Ever since Dr. Marcel's accident, we can make as much noise here as we want. He's no longer interested in what's going on inside the asylum. All of his attention is focused on finding Edna. Somehow you remind me of a patient we used to have here. She was a little taller than you, and I think I remember 2 red horns and a tail.
So if Edna escaped the asylum, she really didn't get very far. If the asylum is just barely across the street from the convent. We have a bee man and we have a lantern.
Moths fluttered around the dim light of the lamp. They were apparently searching for food.
So
Lilli had never seen such an unhappy man in a bee costume before, but she also hadn't really traveled much.
Seems like we're going to end up talking a lot more.
Hopeless. The man in the bee costume couldn't hear Lilli from there.
The phrase "it was hopeless" is not read quite fast enough. How many restrictions do we still need? Like sharp objects? Okay. So we are here. There's a slice of cheese, a can opener, a feather duster, a chair leg, a refrigerator, a pizza flyer, telephone, and a credit card. So let's take the slice of cheese.
A slice of Swiss cheese. There was never any cheese in the convent, mostly just holes.
Otherwise, I don't think we can reach.
But Lilli's arms were too short.
Yeah. we're not going to be able to reach anything else. So we're going to have to climb down here. And then we're going to try a slice of cheese in the reader. And that's going to open the next room. So we can kind of see how this puzzle is going to go.
Lilli had inadvertently broken off the leg of the chair. It was as pointy as a knife. Hopefully the funny little rabbit hadn't seen anything.
But Lilli, what are you doing there? Don't you remember?
You must not use sharp objects.
Just don't touch it, okay? See you around.
So we've gotten a pointy broken leg chair, but we're not quite at the point where we're going to actually break that mental restriction.
Lilli had to use a feather duster in the convent on more than one occasion, and sometimes she secretly tried it.
So is a can opener a sharp object?
But Lilli, what are you doing there? Don't you remember?
You must not use sharp objects.
Just don't. See you around.
So we're getting the same response for two different things.
Were there other Belgian pizza delivery services in the area?
Let's see. Bananas were already in the game. Tomatoes, broccoli, and blueberries. So we have several things we've taken out of the refrigerator, and it doesn't seem like there's anything else. Credit card.
That was Dr. Marcel's credit card. How about that?
So what we'll probably do is take his credit card and punch a bunch of holes into it at some point, following maybe a sign that's on the TV after we order a pizza.
Welcome to Spamey's Pizza Slices. My name is Pokey. Can I take your order?
That's a odd name.
Is that right? I assume that we just shove it under the gate as usual. What toppings? Hello? Hello? Can I take your order? One with nothing coming up. Consider it done. It'll be about 30 to 45 minutes. Have a nice day.
Okay. There's nothing else we can do. But we can go in the hallway. And so... Hey,
what was
here's
the funny
Harvey.
rabbit doing there? He seemed not to have noticed Lilli yet.
Interesting. This may be the real Harvey.
Huh?
Surprised to see me again? Yes, keep kicking. You won't escape me again. And now hold still until I've decided what to do with you.
Lilli considered this option, but instead did the following.
So we can stab the guy as soon as we break the mental break. And so the Phantom does look like he is going to be our bad guy.
Lilli couldn't see the Phantom's eyes. She just assumed that they were glowing evilly.
We could talk to the Phantom, we could talk to Harvey, or we can pull the rope. So this dream is going to take place inside the span of a very short amount of time. as we try to find a solution. But it has been another hour, so let's come over here and make another save game. I'm not sure how much you really would benefit from save games. You probably would if I had figured out how to make a save game at the very beginning. I could have made one every hour or so, and then that would have left me open to potentially going back and getting other achievements. But honestly, with the developer's commentary and having to play the game a second time anyways, you're almost certainly not going to have to, not going to benefit too much from the from save games. Apparently at some point I did get an achievement for Edna's hideout, which would make sense. But yeah, I suppose there is a lot of room here for a lot of different achievements, which does make me think that there's probably somewhere around 3 or 4 more hours of game at the very least. And yeah, there really isn't a lot to say. It's really just slowly chugging along. I do feel like I'm probably having slightly better time than I did with the first Edna Harvey game, but honestly, if there are, say, 6, 7, 8, 9 hours more of gameplay somehow, if it's just that incredibly long and draining, I may very much dislike Edna and Harvey, Harvey's New Eyes, as much as I disliked Edna and Harvey, The Breakout, simply because it's just too much. The gimmick probably should be wrapped around a different game completely. If you were playing, say, Deponia, and in one chapter of Deponia you had a crazy girl like Edna and a stuffed bunny rabbit like Harvey, and that was just like this little side quest thing that was short and sweet, that would work. If you were going to try and make a straight out Edna and Harvey game exclusively, it feels like there needs to be a straight man character where you do one chapter as you play as Edna or Lilli, and then you play one chapter as more of a sane person, even if you're just to keep it fresh and not repeat the same theme over and over again. Anyways, that's going to be it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want to further follow me on any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below. And if you want to support me further, there's a link to Patreon, or you can friend me on Steam and gift me a game off my wishlist. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.